Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order, that being the regular council meeting of Warwick Township Council, December 9th, 2024, at 3:30 as always start time. Remind council of disclosure of pecuniary interest or conflict of interest. Does anybody have one at this time? Seeing none. I'd also like to welcome everybody who's joining us through our YouTube link. Welcome, everybody. I'm now going to do the acknowledgement of ancestral lands. We acknowledge that the Township of Warwick is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, as well as the many Indigenous nations in Ontario, whose footsteps have marked them for centuries. We also wish to acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 29 and Treaty 25 territories signed by Chippewa chiefs and offer our respect and gratitude for these lands. Council, I'm going to take you to number 5 on the agenda, and that's minutes of the previous council meeting, that being the meeting of November 18, 2024. Any questions or comments on that minutes, on those minutes? I entertain a motion then to approve. Councillor Morris is making that motion, seconded by Councillor Manning. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And there was no business arising from those meetings. Madam Clerk? Thank you. Next order of business is number 7. And that's scheduled meetings and events. 7A is for your information, council. Unless anybody has any questions on 7A. Seeing none. 7B, also for your information. Anybody have any questions on 7B and that list? Yes, Councillor Morris.
Yeah, when do we register for Good Roads?
No, it's not open yet.
Okay.
I believe it's coming up next month or so.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go to number 8 on the agenda, council, if we can then, please. We're going to councilors' commitments. First off, councilor commitments. I'm going to start with you, Councillor Westgate. Do you have anything new for commitments? I mean, I guess I'm looking for dates at this point in time.
No,
Gang?
nothing.
Anybody have anything to add to the vacation or anything? Sorry. I should have started to be more specific about that. Let's go to councilors' items. Councillor Westgate, I'm going to turn back to you for councilor items.
Just a couple little things. I had a call about there not being enough light between the two buildings here, and I think you've got the same thing.
Yes, sir.
There's lights there. I would think there'd be enough lights, but I guess we'll have to check it dark and make sure there are. The other thing was on the roads when we had the big storm, I had one call about the guys not being out at 4 like we usually do. I don't know whether they made it out then or not, but there was one road not cleared or some roads not cleared earlier than, that's what they used to be, this guy says anyway.
So that I can comment on. Right now, we're currently down 1 plow. So our road timings are a little bit slower than they were before. The 2 plows are doing what 3 plows used to do. So unfortunately, some residents are getting the roads done later than they were used to. And the last storm, we were also down a grader operator for the first snowfall. So there was a delay overall for people to get the roads done.
Thank you.
Councillor Morris, do you have anything?
I guess I had the same one as Jerry. I got a lot of calls on the roads not being done early enough. I think I'll just leave it till the public works meeting and we can talk more about it there.
I guess I'd also like to add, I'm working with Ray to get a graphic out for everyone to see where the routes are kind of laid out so people can recognize the extensive amount of roads that need to get covered. And like I said, we're down a vehicle, so that kind of increases the time. We'll also put out information on how often we're required to do the roads by, like within so many hours of snowfall stopping. So to give everyone a common expectation of when the roads will be done.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Councillor Manning, do you have anything for today?
I have nothing today. Thanks.
Deputy Mayor Kallenberg?
Nothing really other than to thank the parade committee. They put on a wonderful parade on Saturday. It was very well attended. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yes, it's great when those folks get together and volunteer their time, and all the people that put floats in it. It was a very good parade. I'd like to also thank the folks that put on the Moonlight Madness last week as well. They did a great job, and I'd also like to thank all the businesses that participated as well. It was a great night. The one thing that did come out of that evening was the situation of sidewalks not being completely shoveled in front of some of the businesses, which did create a bit of a hazard, potential hazard for some folks. I don't think we had any incidents. The people that own the businesses are responsible for making sure that their businesses are cleared at the front during snowfalls. When the guys have time, our public works guys, they will come along and they will plow the snow, but that was right in the midst of trying to deal with the storm. So that was something that didn't happen. So we need to send those letters out to those business owners once again to ask them and remind them to please keep the front of their stores shoveled out after snowfalls. So that's something that we've talked to staff about, and we'll get those letters out as soon as possible. Thank you. That's all I had. Okay, let's go to 9 if we can. And that's a verbal update from Trevor Jarrett, our treasurer. That's on requirement for resolution regarding significant weather event of July 2024. Trevor, the floor is yours.
This is part and parcel of submitting the claim to MDRA. We have to have a resolution from council telling us that we should be submitting a claim, even though a state of emergency was declared, basically doing the same thing. So this is just a formality for that. We have submitted the claim. We met the deadlines for time, and we are now waiting to hear back from them, but they cannot process until we have this in the letter from our insurer that we're waiting on.
Thank you, Trevor. Does anybody have any questions? Seeing none. So there is a resolution for council to entertain. And is whereas the municipality of the corporation of the township of Warwick experienced a significant weather event resulting in flooding on July 16th, 2024, and has experienced incremental operating and capital costs, the council of the corporation of the township of Warwick hereby requests the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing to activate the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program. Further, that Ron Van Horn, CAO, is given delegated authority to verify the accuracy of the attached claim. Who would like to do the honors? Councillor Morris is making that motion. Councillor Manning is seconding it. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. What are we doing for time? Almost there. Okay, let's go. We got a few minutes before our delegation at 3:40. Let's go to accounts number 11, if we could, council. 11A is accounts payable. Does anybody have any questions on the accounts payable? Yes, Councillor Morris.
The only one I've noticed lately is Stephanie's cell phone. Should Stephanie not have a township phone? Like,
Mr. Jarrett?
I'll take that. Stephanie was offered a township phone and said no, so we give her the same rate as what the base rate is here for her phone, personal phone. So it saves us also on that. So
Okay.
we've aligned it.
thank you.
Very good. Anybody else have any questions on the accounts? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the accounts. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg is making that motion, that's seconded by Councillor Westgate. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, we're going to keep going to number 12, consent agenda. There is no action correspondence this time around. Did anybody have any questions or want to pull any of the items out? 8F. If not, I would entertain a motion to receive and file. Councillor Manning, you making that motion? Thank you, sir. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg. Place your hand. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, I think we'll leave 13 and we'll come back to it. We're very close to our delegation time of 3:40, so we're going to come back, council, to 13. Reports requiring a motion. And are we close enough in time, Madam Clerk? Okay, folks, we have a delegation joining us today. We have Jody Campbell, our municipal member, and Bill Weber, Chair of the Lambton Seniors Advisory Committee. Welcome. We're going to ask you to come up here and we can activate the microphone and you can make your presentation. How are you? Good. Please come up, Jody. I think Mr. Weber's being a little shy today. Yeah, come on up. It's not every day we have the former warden of Lambton County in our midst. We'd like to see on camera. So Anyways, folks, thank you very much for coming today. We appreciate it. I know, as always, what we do when we have guests, we just turn the floor over to you. Let you make your presentation, and if we have questions, we'll ask them at the end. So welcome.
I also want to say that Kathy Martin is here
Just a-
from.
Thanks, Bill.
Kathy Martin is also here from the Lambton Seniors Advisory Committee. So I'm Jody Campbell, and I'm your representative on the Lambton Seniors Advisory Council. I'm pleased to present to you today on behalf of the Senior Advisory Committee, a presentation aimed at educating you on the functions, the accomplishments, and the challenges of our committee after our first term. We're excited to use this opportunity to showcase the important work completed by the committee and the next steps. We hope that this presentation will serve an opportunity to build a strong relationship with municipal councils to better serve the senior populations in the community. So if you could, somebody could point to the next slide. So we would like to provide some background on this committee. In 2017, Navigating Senior Care Lambton and Community Legal Assistance Sarnia held a citizens forum in Sarnia to learn about seniors in hospital care, home care, long-term care, housing, and community supports. Individuals were invited to present to a panel of professional experts representing the fields of housing support workers, social work, and legal advocacy. The Hearing Our Voices project was then envisioned as a means of continuing this important conversation by reaching out across the county of Lambton to provide a vehicle for seniors and their caregivers, local health care and housing issues to share their knowledge and experience. In 2019, so 2 years later, Navigating Senior Care Lambton and Community Legal Assistance Sarnia provided County Council with the completed Hearing Our Voices report. The report compiled focus groups responses from seniors across Lambton County on topics such as their experience with local health care and housing problems. In this report, several key concerns stood out: that staffing levels throughout the systems of care are dangerously low and compound a number of other issues around continuity and quality of care. Wait times for low income, long-term care beds, and retirement home space can be extremely long. This is further compounding issues such as hospital wait times, hospital overcrowding, and homelessness. Many seniors learn about what services are and are not available to them mainly through word of mouth. And this lack of communication to seniors about available services and how to access them is leaving many seniors and their families out of the loop and forced to handle care by themselves without adequate respite services. A major takeaway of the focus group was that many seniors had not planned for aging in their community, making it difficult to ensure proper care plans were in place when needed. The next slide. In a follow-up to this report, Navigating Senior Care Lambton and Community Legal Assistance Sarnia proposed that Lambton County should form a seniors advisory committee comprised of county residents who could promote interests and identify seniors' issues and address them at a county level. As a result of this report, County Council passed a motion to move forward with a task force to investigate creating a seniors advisory committee in Lambton. And on February 26, 2020, Navigating Senior Care Lambton facilitated a meeting with Lambton Public Health to plan next steps in striking a task force to make recommendations to council and develop a terms of reference for a seniors advisory committee. A recommended list of community members representing a variety of seniors groups, including Lambton Seniors Association, Sarnia Lambton Elder Abuse Network, Age Friendly Sarnia, and other community advocates was created, and invitations were sent by Navigating Senior Care Lambton requesting participation on a time-limited Seniors Advisory Committee task force. County staff scheduled the first task force meeting in Wyoming on March 10th of 2020, and the group met for discussion and agreed that there's a need for a Seniors Advisory Committee in Lambton County based on the following rationale. Lambton has an aging population. Lambton County has a higher proportion of seniors compared to the rest of the province. Seniors are identified as a priority population under the new Sarnia Lambton Ontario Health Team. and it builds on age-friendly community planning initiatives in Lambton County. And it aligns with the County of Lambton's 10-year housing and homelessness plan and Lambton Public Health Healthy Aging Strategic Priority. Task Force members reviewed a provincial scan of 13 municipal seniors advisory committees and councils to help inform local recommendations. After the review was complete, the initial terms of reference were created and the recruitment of members began by each municipality. The next slide. The Seniors Advisory Committee held its inaugural meeting in February of 2023. This initiated the important work to ensure seniors are represented in local decision-making processes. Membership on the committee is for a term length of 2 years, and the first term of the committee will be ending in February of 2025. The main premise the committee operates under is all seniors are entitled to age safely and with dignity. The Seniors Advisory Committee reports to the Warden and County Council on issues that affect seniors in Lambton County. This enables a strong partnership with local government services. Next slide. The current committee members include 1 senior representative from each of the 11 County of Lambton municipalities, 1 County of Lambton counselor, 1 County of Lambton staff member, and 1 member from Navigating Senior Care Lambton. This diverse membership ensures that seniors from all communities are recognized in the activities carried out by the advisory committee. Each municipality carries out a recruitment process to nominate members to the committee. This ensures members have the appropriate skills and experience to represent the municipality in committee decision-making. It also ensures that members have a strong local connection to their community. Next slide. The committee is working to identify concerns and challenges experienced by seniors and ready and willing to work with other seniors advisory groups and organizations to ensure the supports and services seniors in our community need are in place for everyone who needs them. The main goal of the committee is to ensure communities support healthy aging for seniors, and this includes access to services such as healthcare, transportation, and representation in community decision-making. Next slide. The main functions of the committee are to act as a liaison for seniors to enrich the health and quality of life for all seniors. This provides a connection for seniors to local government and services, and to solicit input and act as a representative for issues that affect local seniors. Members are champions for the most critical issues our residents face. Next slide. So our priorities that have been identified are advocating for improved transportation services to reduce the isolation of seniors, increase the sense of belonging of seniors to their community, improve access to health care and wellness services by promoting community access points, and promote residents to plan for their elder years in this community. Next slide. Our accomplishments so far, we have members of the committee that sit on the Age Friendly Expo Planning Committee. SAC members are available to their communities for consultation through attendance at events like the Age Friendly Expo. The Seniors Advisory Committee has prioritized transportation concerns and have advocated for council initiatives. This includes providing a letter of support for a needs and feasibility study on inter-community transit. In partnership with the County of Lambton Libraries, the Seniors Advisory Committee has launched a campaign to educate residents on community supports through the Age Friendly website. This helped increase awareness of the diverse services in the community and how to access them. And the Seniors Advisory Committee has educated members by utilizing guest speakers at committee meetings on topics such as system navigation and transportation. These education sessions ensure members have the appropriate knowledge to support seniors. Next slide. Some of the challenges that we've faced are to effectively serve the senior populations in the community. The main challenges identified are our limited ability to promote priorities due to lack of funding, a lack of recognition of the Seniors Advisory Committee as a separate entity from other community partners, and limited opportunities to address transportation barriers in the community. Sorry. Our next steps, in the next slide, is to better serve the senior populations in the community. The advisory committee is hoping to work with local municipalities in the following ways. By continuing to support the committee through seeking consultation on topics that affect seniors in the community, to work with the committee to hold and attend events in the community where networking with residents can occur, and support requests from the Seniors Advisory Committee for input on projects or policies that is informed by their outreach in the community. Are there any questions?
Okay, well, thank you, Jody, for your presentation. And Bill, does anybody have any questions for our guests today? Councilor Morse?
Just more of a comment than a question. We used to have a seniors friendship center in town. I think it's no longer in existence. Is this something that the council should maybe promote to try to get some senior volunteers to reestablish this? Is this something the committee think would be a good idea?
You want to answer that, Bill?
That's the challenge that we have is, with COVID happened, there wasn't groups gathering and they've fallen by the wayside. And some of that, it's a matter, one of our main goals is to communicate with the services that are available, with the items that are there. There's plenty of services throughout the county, but they're not, the seniors, we can't get information to them. Some don't know what's happening. There's no way to communicate. Social media is great, but it's not great for seniors. So that's the challenge that our committee is having, is how do we get that information distributed? How do the seniors know if they're looking for something, they can call 211, which is useful. You talk to a person and they will put you in touch with whoever in an agency or that can be helpful, whether it's through to, like Leo is well known, but people just, we got to get that communication through. And that's one of the things we've been asking for. We haven't asked any of the local councils in our touring around for money, but we have asked the county for a funding. Just to be able to print literature that will probably come back to your municipality, and we ask you to mail it out with your tax notice or a water bill so that it's in a print form that everybody gets it. And we really have to develop what we're putting on that, what we're sending out, but it'll be a straightforward, contact this number, call your local municipality if you are looking for something that way. That's one of the challenges. And we did have a motion at our last meeting from the Seniors Advisory Committee to the county asking for a $10,000 budget. And I know they're working on it. I know the budget's going to be tight at the county, but Kevin Churchill has said that he's working on something for us. He got our request. So that's where it stands with that. That's the main thing. We also now have a banner and a tablecloth that we can go to an event. If there's a fall fair or a seniors job fair or something like that in your community, I know Jody would love to come and stand behind the table and so we have that now. When we get some literature printed, we'll have something to give out to go to those events for the next couple of years. That's kind of the direction we've had it.
Thank you very much, Bill.
Anybody else have any questions of our guests? Very good. Well then, folks, I'd like to thank you very much for coming today and sharing your information and wish you all the best of luck moving forward. And I do know we have events throughout our community throughout the year, and maybe Stephanie could maybe be of some help of one of those events where maybe it would work for you folks to come and be visible in the public. So yeah, thank you very much for coming.
We're here to help you help your seniors.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. You know the drill. Thank you. Okay, council, I'm going to take us back to our agenda. We're going to go to number 13 on the agenda. Give you a chance to get there. And 13 on the agenda is reports and items requiring a motion. There is no action correspondence. I think that's the first time I've ever seen no action correspondence. We do have B though, And B is the false alarm bylaw and the information that goes along with it. And you recommend that motion to go along with it, that Warwick Township Council receives and file reports. False alarm bylaw is information, and that bylaw 97 of 2024 be approved. Bylaws come later on. John, did you want to speak to this? This came from the OPP policing group. I'll maybe ask you to speak to that if you don't mind.
Yeah, we've been talking about this since I started going to the meetings, and the OPP, they're getting called out to so many false alarms, and it's not just, somebody may have one or two and they get their alarm fixed, but there's some places that it's 9 or 10 times in 8 months that they're getting called out. And I mean, some of this equipment needs to be upgraded possibly, or, there are incidents where they punch the wrong code in, or the kids punch in the wrong code, stuff like that. But it's more addressed to the people or businesses that they have reoccurring incidents all the time, and it's just wasting OPP's time, and the force is thin enough, so they're better off being available for something else that's more important. So the board decided to implement this.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and everybody knows how OPP policing works. We pay based on all those calls. So from an economic standpoint, it makes sense to me as well. Anybody else have any questions on this? Councilor Morris?
I'm just wondering, should we look at something like this for our fire departments also?
It's something that could be looked at. I think we have to look at it separately, separate from this, but it is something that could be looked at. I don't know what the stats are. I know at one time years ago, there was an issue with our guys getting called out a lot, but I haven't heard of anything lately. I don't know if anybody on staff has heard of our guys getting called out a lot as far as false alarms go. Like I say, there was a problem years ago, but it's something we could ask our chiefs the next time they're in. They're going to be in during budget. That could be a question we ask on during the budget proceedings. So anybody else have a question? Yes, Deputy Mayor Kallenberg.
And the fireman's report here, it does list how many false alarms they've had in the last, or is it, I read it earlier. Pretty sure it was false alarms in there. Yeah, Warwick had 3 and Watford had 2.
So they're not significant like they once were. There was a time where they were getting, I know Watford Quality of Care alone, I remember one year, I think there were 7 or 8. And that was getting, I think we did something obviously to try to deal with that obviously worked out because it stopped happening in a frequent matter. Okay, anybody else have any questions on this? Otherwise, there's a recommendation. Councillor Manning?
Just a statement, and a kind of a question for John. Like, when you guys reviewed this, you take into consideration, I know there's a lot of false alarms done by businesses that have systems, but what about people calling in? Like, is this kind of a blanket that any false alarm? Because wouldn't want people, and especially like thinking of the fire departments and that, I don't want to put people in a position where they don't feel like they should call. You know what I mean? I still want them to think that they're able to make the call, even if they come and nothing's there. Like, I just don't want people having to question that and think that they're gonna get slapped with a fine. The potential is there.
It's set up that, if it happens once, that's fine. But on the second or third occurrence, they will get a letter. And then after that, there will be fines assessed. So they will get proper warning that, if this continues, you will be fined. But, one or 2 times is okay, but it's not if it happens, twice in a month or something like that. But they will get a letter after the first one, and then that'll move forward from there.
All right, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any other questions on this particular topic? How does council wish to do with the recommendation? To receive and file will be done by Councillor Manning, you're making it? Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Morris. Any further discussion of any? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, 13C, we have a little bit of housekeeping we need to do. And this is amended resolutions for the drain petitions. There are 2 of them here. Recommendation 1 is that Warwick Township Council hereby approves the recommendation from the drainage superintendent to proceed with improvements to the falls drain under sections 4 and 78 of the Drainage Act. Recommendation number 2 is that Warwick Township Council hereby approves recommendation from the drainage superintendent to proceed with improvements to the Willoughby drain under section 4 and 78 of the Drainage Act. So this is some housekeeping that our clerk has brought to our attention. that needed to be taken care of. So any questions on this, council? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve both. Moved by, you want two separate motions? Okay, we're gonna do it in two separate motions. So motion, recommendation number one, Councilor Morris is moving it. We have a seconder, Councilor Westgate. All in favor? That's carried. Recommendation number two, do we have a mover? Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, seconded by Councilor Manning. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Do we have any new business from council today? I have one item that I'll bring up if nobody else has anything. I've had a couple ratepayers ask me about potentially putting in a veterans crosswalk in the community. They are in communities in the country. So basically what they're doing is they're paying respect to the veterans that have served our country, numerous wars and so on. And it's something that they've asked me if I would look into it. Now, Nabu is a county road, as we all know. So the county would also have to be spoke to about this matter. So I'm just wondering if there's interest from council in exploring it, and that would mean putting one. We have the one right here by the post office would have to be one of the walkways that the kids cross, where Jerry looks after them. Is there an interest in exploring that and asking staff to do a little bit of research and bring it back to council? Deputy Mayor Kallenberg?
I would definitely like for somebody to look into that. I think it's a great idea.
Anybody else? So it could be, Wayne, did you want to respond to Councilor Morris?
Yeah, we had this on our last council, some inquiries about crosswalks. The only thing I worry about is the can of worms it opens when you allow one group and then another public group wants their opinion put in the crosswalk. I don't know where to call enough. It was the same as their flag policy. You know, we came up with a policy. As far as the veterans go, 100% yes. But I just don't know, will that be the end of it?
Well, I think all we can do at this point in time, if council agrees, is to ask staff for a report and potentially doing it. I mean, we need to know the ins and outs going about. Other communities have done it. So I think right now we're just in a situation of exploring it to find out what it takes to do it and what would be required. Of course, the county, it is a county road. The county would have to obviously be part of this whole conversation as well. So right now, all it is, and I'll make it a motion, that we request staff to look into the possibility of putting a veterans sidewalk in our community and to bring back a report outlining exactly what's all needed. So I'll make that motion about a seconder. Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, any further discussion on this? Councilor Westgate?
So you're just saying the one out by the track out there would be the one we'd use? We're not putting a new one in. We're just gonna name that one the memorial one?
So my thought would be, it would be an existing crosswalk we already have. And again, just looking for feedback, the report that comes back from staff will outline everything, but no, I'm not talking about creating a new one. We have the other crosswalks where the kids cross down the other end where Jerry looks after them. And I'm just suggesting maybe we look at one of those and the county will have input as they always do. It's their road and bring it back to council. So yeah, no, I'm not talking about creating another one, Councilor Westgate. Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, that's the end of our public portion of today's meeting. It is a short one. I will remind everybody that we do have our budget presentation on Wednesday at 3:30. Thursday at 3:30. So Trevor, our treasurer, will be introducing the budget for council's consideration. It is not a meeting that we're going to do a lot of deliberating by any means. It's a presentation of the budget, and then we'll get into deliberations later on. So just to let the public be aware of that as well. So that's Thursday at 3:30. Okay. So thank you for everybody that's attended today. And I'm now going to ask for a motion to move into in-camera council. Now we're going to enter into the closed meeting session. I need a motion to move into an in-camera meeting of council pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons. A matter regarding personnel matters about identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, section 239. Number 8, information explicitly supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory, or a crown agency of any of them, for any of them, section 239. So Mr. Manning, Councillor Manning is making that motion, seconded by Deputy Mayor Kellenberg. All in favor? That's carried.